I'm going to break down the 7 levels of building an online business, all the way from hobby to building a category 1 company. And by the end, you'll actually know exactly where you're at today, number 1. And number 2 is the single lever that moves you up to the next level. So let's get into it. Now, level 1 kind of starts at like hobby chaos. And this is where everyone starts. You don't really have a clear niche, no clear offer, some random Instagram posts, random DMs, and random little wins if you're lucky. Basically, you're hustling, but it's a little bit of chaos. What does it really feel like? You may be staying up late, you're tweaking Canva graphics, sending 100 DMs a week, but your bank account doesn't move. You're busy, but still broke. You may have zero focus. You're throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping that something actually sticks. Now, the lever to move up is just picking one pain point, one product, and one channel, and just commit to it simply for 90 days. Just to give you an example, instead of saying like, hey, I do editing, copywriting, and social media management, you commit to just, let's say, podcast editing for B2B coaches. It's one pain, one product, and one channel, which makes it way more specialized. Again, if you stay here too long, and you'll basically burn before you even get momentum if you stay there too long. Now, level number 2 is freelancer fog. And here's the classic trap. You finally get clients, but you've basically created a job with multiple bosses. Some of the signs that seem like you may be stuck here is that you may be charging per hour or per project. Clients are messaging you at 11 p.m. at night, or every new project feels like reinventing the wheel. Now, the illusion is that you may think like, hey, I run a business, but are you really running a business? Like, you're basically freelancing, and freelancing has a ceiling. Now, the lever to actually move up is to just stop selling your time and actually start selling outcomes. Instead of saying like, hey, I'll run ads for you by the hour, it basically should become something like this, like saying like, hey, we launch your lead gen funnel within 14 days for $2,000 flat. Basically what you can say as well is like, hey, if you don't see any results, we'll work for free until we do. Now, the difference is night and day, right? And when you actually sell outcomes, you shift from being a pair of hands to actually being a problem solver. And that's when you step into level number 3. Now, level number 3 is basically the offer operator. And this is the level where things start feeling real. Now, what actually defines this level? You basically have one clear offer, clients know exactly what they're buying, and you've got a repeatable system to actually deliver. This is also when referrals start rolling in and you feel like, okay, I can actually do this. But the ceiling here is dangerous. Like, growth depends on luck. You're at the mercy of referrals, word of mouth, or random algorithm spikes. The lever to move up is installing a basic acquisition system. And that could be something like, hey, 100 cold DMs a day, or 2 TikToks or Instagram Reels a day, and a weekly webinar. It doesn't matter which. What matters is turning randomness into pipeline volume. Just a quick story, like one client that I actually work with had been stuck here for months, had a great offer, happy clients, but her sales were a roller coaster. So we built her one cold email sequence, and within 60 days, she was at 20K a month consistently. Now, at this level, you really start tasting that type of freedom. But without proof and consistency, it's fragile. And it's exactly where level number 4 matters, which is pipeline and proof. So at this point, you should have gotten some momentum. Leads are flowing in, sales calls are happening every week, and you've got case studies and proof that you can actually deliver. What defines this stage? It's that you track your pipeline, you're posting client results, you're not chasing work, and it's coming to you. But here's the danger. It all depends on you. If you stop, the machine stops. Now, the lever to actually move up in this stage and this level is to build SOPs and make your first hire. For example, record your screen with Loom, write down the checklist, and hand off admin or delivery tasks to a virtual assistant or just a contractor. Now, this is the first true business shift. It's instead of I do it, you say we do it. And sometimes it may seem uncomfortable, like you feel like no one can actually do it as well as you, but unless you break the bottleneck, you'll stay trapped forever in this level or the level before, which is basically where we get to level number 5, which is a systemized service. Now, at level 5 is where your business actually finally feels like a business. Now, the signs that you're here is that offers are standardized. Client onboarding is smooth. You can actually forecast revenue 60 to 90 days ahead. But the new problem is that margins stall and growth slows. You're probably wondering why, and that's because custom works keep sneaking in. The lever to actually move up a level is to standardize and stack. For example, create a 7-day quick win sprint that every client goes through. Define what's in the scope and what's out of the scope. It's very important because at the end of the day, it's all about setting the right expectations of what they are actually going to receive on the onboard and what they're not going to receive, right? Add ascension offers, so maintenance, optimization, and add-ons. These could be back-end sales, right? Now, this is where you actually start compounding. Each client isn't just a project, they're actually a growth engine. And on top of that, if you've ever wondered actually how agents go from 20 to 100K months, this is the level where this actually happens. And this is where we also get to level number 6, which is IP and multiplier. Now, the game changes at this level. You stop selling effort and you start selling intellectual property. What this looks like, first of all, it's naming your process. For example, the 30-day pipeline sprint. Then after that, it's turning your delivery into dashboards, templates, and workflows. And then your content starts pulling clients inbound. Now, suddenly, you're not just another service provider. You're actually the one who invented the method that you've created in a new mechanism. And this is when you can start charging annual retainers, licensing deals, and have other people set up for you, or even building software around your system. The lever to actually move up is codify your brain. So turn your process into something that clients repeat back to you. Now, when people say like, hey, we need to run the XYZ method, and you created that method, that's leverage. And that's the actual power that I'm talking about here, which is where we get to in level 7. It's called category of 1. Now, this is what I like to call the promised land. It's basically the top of the pyramid. And what it looks like is that you don't really compete, you define the rules. You have whole communities form around your framework and your new mechanism. You've got multiple revenue lines like services, education, software, and maybe even licensing. Think about Alex Hormozy with his $100 million offers or the $100 million launch he recently did, right, in one day. Or ClickFunnels, literally creating a new category of business. Now, how you play here, codify, community, and compounding. Codify is basically your framework so that the market adopts them as the standard. Building a community so others actually spread the message for you. And then bet on long arcs like media, brand, and partnerships, which isn't just about money anymore. At this point, it's more about legacy. So this is how you stop being another business owner and actually start being the business. Now, just like a quick recap here of the 7 levels that we just talked about, which is number 1 is hobby chaos. It's picking one pain, one product, and one channel. Then level 2, which is freelancer FOC, which is selling outcomes and not hours. Level 3 was offer operator, built one acquisition system. To get to level 4, it's pipeline and proof. So SOPs plus your first hires once you've done those SOPs. Level number 5 is systemized service. So standardize your product and your delivery, and then work on ascensions and back-end sales. Level number 6 is IP and multiplier. So name your method, turn it into tools, and have other people sell it for you. And level number 7 is category of 1. Just codify, community, and compounding. The game isn't to get rich quick. The game is to move one level up at a time. Now, if this broke things down for you, here's the next step. I basically recorded a full breakdown of how I systematized my own business, going from freelance chaos to 80K a month profit while only working just 4 hours a day. Now click the link or the video that's going to pop up here on the screen or in the description to watch it now, because the truth is you don't rise to the level of your goals, you rise to the level of your systems. Subscribe if you want the roadmap others won't give you, and I'll see you on the next one. Welcome to the Exit Operator era. Peace.